Hello, my friends, and welcome to Fighting Fantasy Classics. Back in 1984, a year after I graduated from high school, I discovered the Fighting Fantasy series of books. They were choose-your-own-adventure books. They were a tremendous amount of fun, and I've only just discovered that there is an electronic version of these books available on Steam, and that the initial program and the initial book, Bloodbones, is free. The other books average about $4 a piece, but I would absolutely love to introduce you guys to something that at one time was an absolute passion of mine. There were a total of more than 50 books that were published in the Fighting Fantasy series, one of my favorites being Death Trap Dungeon, but they have a pretty substantial number of them. The rules are pretty straightforward, and what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to come here to options, make sure everything is how we want it. We're going to turn this music down, and so yeah, everything should be good. We can change our player portrait, and we can also change our player name. So we'll do that. Let's see here. We need somebody with a... Oh, there we go. He's got a beard. That's good enough for me. All right, so back to general and apply these settings. Hello. Full screen. There we go. All right. So we'll go back to home. What we're going to do is we are going to start with Bloodbones, which is Gamebook 61 in the series and is free. So you'll find this on Steam, Fighting Fantasy Classic. You can download it and play for free. And the first book, the first game book here, Bloodbones, is free. Let's go ahead and click on that. There it is. We are going to restart. I just wanted to make sure that I knew how the system worked. So yes, we're going to restart. And away we go. Bloodbones is a fighting fantasy game book, an interactive adventure in which you are the hero. You can win only by choosing the correct path, finding equipment, avoiding traps, and surviving combat. Before embarking on your adventure, you must first determine your own strengths and weaknesses with a series of dice rolls. These attributes are recorded on your adventure sheet and include stamina, skill, luck, and your starting gold pieces. Before making your rolls, you must choose from one of 3 difficulty settings. This game book has been designed for optimum challenge on the Adventurer difficulty mode. For newcomers to Fighting Fantasy, we recommend Adventurer or Free Read modes. For experienced readers already familiar with printed versions of this game book, we recommend Hardcore Hero mode. So there's Adventure, which is playing it as it was intended. There's Hardcore Hero, and there's Free Read, and what we're going to do is we're going to play Adventure mode. You have chosen the Adventurer difficulty mode. Before continuing, you must calculate your initial stamina. Your stamina score reflects your general constitution, your will to survive, your determination, and overall fitness. The higher your stamina score, the longer you'll be able to survive. You must roll 2 dice and add 12 to the number rolled. This is then entered into the stamina box on your adventure sheet. Stamina will go up and down during your journey, but if your stamina falls to 0, you die and your adventure is over. If your stamina is getting low, remember to eat some of your provisions. All right, let's roll our stamina. Ooh, that's rough. You roll 6 plus a base of 12, meaning your stamina is 18. That's rough. Next, determine your skill. Your skill reflects your swordsmanship and general fighting expertise. The higher, the better. Your starting skill is determined by rolling 1 die and adding 6 to the number. This is then entered in the skill box on your adventure sheet. Your adventure sheet can be accessed at any time using the menu at the bottom of the screen. All right, let's roll our skill. Oh, wow, we're not getting very good rolls here at all. Next, determine your luck. Your luck score indicates how naturally lucky a person you are. Luck and magic are facts of life in the fantasy world you're about to explore. Your starting luck is determined by rolling one die and adding 6 to the number. This is then entered into the luck box on your adventure sheet. Roll your luck. Wow, that's average. All right, luck of 9. Next, determine your starting number of gold pieces. The amount of gold pieces in your possession is determined by rolling 2 dice and adding 12 to the number. This is then entered in the gold pieces box on your adventure sheet. There, we got a good roll on our gold at least, so we've got 21 gold pieces. All right, you must now prepare your adventurer's equipment. You begin your adventure with a sword, backpack, tinderbox, gold pieces, and a lantern to light your way. Rationing your provisions is key to a successful adventure. They may be consumed at any time, excluding combat, by accessing the adventure sheet. Each meal restores 4 stamina. Be sure to pay close attention to your stamina and restore it regularly. In Bloodbones, you begin your journey with no provisions, regardless of your chosen difficulty level. During your quest, you may encounter characters and items that alter your 3 scores, stamina, skill, and luck. Usually, these scores may only ever be restored to their initial amount. On very rare occasions, a particular page may grant an effect that defies this rule. Aside from these occasions, some magic items may also allow you to exceed your initial scores. Once you have readied your equipment, there's one more thing you should know. During your adventure, you will notice that hours will pass at key points, usually when you have been doing something for a considerable length of time. This is very important, as will become apparent as your adventure progresses. Try not to allow too many hours to pass. Onward to adventure. All right. It all started 10 years ago when the evil pirate lord Cinnabar murdered your family. At the time, you were only 12 years old and lived with your family in the small fishing village of Clam Beach on the northern coast of Ruddlestone, halfway between the 2 major ports of the kingdom. Harabnab, home to all lawful adventurers and sailors, and the sinister port of Crabs. Life in Clam Beach was not easy, but it did have a peaceful security about it. And then the terrible day came. It was a clear summer day in Warming when the huge, forbidding black galleon sailed into the bay, flying the dreaded flag of the Skull and Crossbones. Pirates. The bloodthirsty cutthroats were soon racing up the beach towards the village. The fighting was swift and bloody. Soon most of the grown folk of Clam Beach had been killed, your father and 2 siblings dying while trying to defend the village. In the end, the village elders had no choice but to surrender to the marauding raiders and open the village's meager treasure coffers. The cruel pirate captain came ashore from his ship to collect the booty himself. The sight of him filled you with awe and fear. The pirate was a tall, handsome man with a neatly trimmed, pointed black beard and his hair tied back in a ponytail. He was dressed in the clothes of a nobleman, with a fine scarlet coat trimmed with gold braid and wearing a large tricorn hat. At his waist hung a gleaming cutlass, and you could not help noticing that on the back of his right hand was tattooed the image of a grinning black skull. When the raiders had finally gone, filled with feelings of hatred for those who had murdered your family, you asked Ragai, the village soothsayer, who the pirate captain was. That villain is one of the most evil men ever to sail the 12 seas a Titan, was his vehement reply. He is one of the most feared pirate lords of our age, a creature without remorse, a murderer and a follower of the bloodthirsty voodoo god Queskari, whose mark is the Black Skull. He is Cinnabar, but because of the terrible atrocity he commits, he's also known as Bloodbones. From that moment, you vowed that one day you would have your revenge on the evil Cinnabar. Your mother became ill soon after that dreadful day, and 3 years later she died. On your 16th birthday, you left Clam Beach and made your way to Haranab, gaining the position of a cabin boy on a ship traveling to the distant continent of Alancia. For the last 6 years, you've sailed all across the globe, but you never forgot the promise you made to yourself a decade ago. Over many voyages, you have tried to learn as much as you can about the rogue captain. You discovered that Cinnabar's galleon, the Virago, is frequently seen sailing in the waters around Nankunu Bay, and that he has a hidden base somewhere close to the port of Crabs. You also gleaned as much information as you could about the notorious city, and so, when you decided that you were at last ready to confront your enemy, and the chance of passage on a merchant ship sailing to the Port of Crabs came up, you leapt at the opportunity. Vengeance, you are sure, will soon be yours. The Port of Crabs is haven to every pirate, buccaneer, and freebooter who ply their trade off the coast of the kingdom of Ruddlestone in the Old World. As you stand at the prow of the merchantman, looking towards the land, you can make out the ramshackle jumble of buildings of the infamous city and the outline of the old fort that stands above it like some ancient, crumbling sentinel. The merchantman bumps against the stone jetty, and you quickly disembark. Not only is the Port of Crabs one of the most dangerous cities in the Old World, but a thick fog is starting to roll in from the sea. It is late afternoon on a chill day in the month of unlocking, and the docks are bustling with activity. Standing close to the quayside is a large old stone building which looks like it could withstand a battering from Haidana, god of the deep himself. Hanging over its sturdy oak door is a faded sign declaring that this is the Jolly Roger. This seems as good a place as any to begin your search for Cinnabar, so you enter the inn. The spacious bar inside the Jolly Roger is packed with all manner of scurvy-looking sailors and other lowlives. The landlord is as big as an ox and has a large anchor tattooed on one arm. No one takes any notice of you as you enter, so you approach the bar and order a tankard of ale costing 1 gold piece. You decide to question the landlord about your Cinnabar first. Over your tankard of ale, you talk about the weather and the state of trade, and then draw the innkeeper onto the subject of the pirate you seek. I hear the Virago plies these waters, you say. I'm surprised we weren't attacked ourselves. Not anymore, it doesn't, the landlord replies. Have you not heard? Cinnabar has been dead these last 6 months. Cinnabar dead? You've come all this way after years of harboring desires for revenge only to find that the dread pirate lord has already passed from this world? You ask the landlord how he died. Have you not heard? I would have thought that everyone as far as the Diamond Islands would know by now. It's all happened last hiding. You listen attentively as the innkeeper relates the tale. It appears that Cinnabar and his crew were emptying the hold of a galley sailing from Hardenab to Arkleton in the distant Analand, when the renowned bounty hunter, Conan, caught up with them in his ship, the Fortune. Unable to escape, Cinnabar and his men had to defend themselves against the crews of the galley and the Conan. Fierce fighting ensued, with Cinnabar eventually falling at Conan's hand, having suffered an incredible number of wounds, his body being lost to the sea. With their leader killed, the surviving members of his crew fled aboard the Virago, returning to the Port of Crabs. Soon after, Cinnabar's second-in-command, Miro the Red, set off in the Virago amid terrible storms, purportedly to recover her captain's body. Many now believe that the pirate lord's galleon sank as it has not been seen since, the landlord says, concluding his story. You thank him for his help, and in a bewildered daze you make to leave the inn. You console yourself with the thought that at least the murderer of your family has at last been brought to justice. As you leave the Jolly Roger, you feel someone pulling on your jerkin. Turning around, you discover that an old drunk, slumped at a table by himself, is the one trying to attract your attention. Just because he's dead doesn't mean he's at rest, muttered the drunk. Curious about the drunk's words, you sit down opposite the old man and ask him what he means. Well, let's just say you don't want to go believe in everything you hear. But I know what's going on. Oh, yes, old Drake knows. Cinnabar isn't really dead, see, and he's coming back, the old man says in a harsh whisper. Intrigued, you press Drake to tell you more, but he suddenly becomes serious and looks around the barroom uneasily. Not here. Meet me outside in 10 minutes. You nod in agreement, leave the Jolly Roger. Tendrils of fog are now swirling around the boats in the harbor and oozing along the streets of the town. When the 10 minutes are up, you quickly return to the Jolly Roger and sneak down the side alley next to it. In the mist and shadows at the end of the narrow alleyway, you can make out 3 figures standing over a 4th, cowering on the ground at their feet. Wasting no time, you draw your sword and dash towards them. Hearing your approach, the 3 pirates turn to face you. The burly characters are ugly, scarred rogues, and the biggest of them, who is easily wielding a wooden club in one hand and holding a bullwhip in the other, looks as if he has some ogre blood in his lineage. At the pirate's feet lies Drake, beaten, bruised, and only just conscious. "Here's the snooper," growls the half-ogre. "You're no match for us. By the time we've finished with you, you'll be feeding the shrimps, or rather the shrimps will be feeding on you." The other two pirates burst into coarse laughter at their companion's joke. "Yeah, you fish bait." Still laughing, the ruffians advance towards you. Apart from the half-ogre, there is a well-built, bearded man, missing most of his teeth, and a leaner rogue with two ugly red scars running down the right side of his face. You may be about to engage in your first fighting fantasy battle. Would you like to know more about how combat works? For the sake of you guys, I am going to say yes, please. When you begin a battle in Fighting Fantasy Classics, your adventure sheet will appear at the bottom of the screen displaying your stamina, skill, and luck stats. Above this, the monster encounter sheet will appear displaying the stamina and skill of your foe. Battles are resolved by rolling two six-sided dice for both you and your enemy and adding the result of the roll to the respective skill score. This is called the attack strength. Both sets of dice are rolled at the same time. Your dice are white and your opponent's dice are red. If your attack strength is higher, you have wounded your foe, causing 2 points of stamina damage. If the enemy's attack strength is higher, it has wounded you, causing 2 points of stamina damage. If both attack strength totals are the same, you have avoided each other's blows, resulting in a draw. After hitting your opponent or taking stamina damage, you may use luck to inflict a more serious wound on the creature, or to minimize the effects of a wound you received. To do this, select the luck button, which will roll two green six-sided dice. If the number rolled is equal to or less than your current luck score, you've been lucky. If the number rolled is higher than your current luck score, then you've been unlucky. If you are attacking and you are lucky, you have inflicted a severe wound on the enemy, losing an extra 2 points of stamina. If you're unlucky, the wound was a mere graze and the creature only loses 1 point of stamina. If you've been wounded and are lucky, you have managed to avoid the full damage of the blow and only lose 1 point of stamina. And conversely, if you've been unlucky, you've taken a serious blow and lose an extra point of stamina. Your luck score decreases by 1 point each time you use luck during battle. Sometimes you'll have the option to escape combat. If you choose to escape or flee, automatically scores a hit. The foe automatically scores a hit against you, causing 2 stamina points of damage, such as the price of cowardice. Battles will continue round by round until the stamina score of either you or your foe has been reduced to 0. If you come across more than one creature in an encounter, then once the first creature has been defeated, you'll automatically begin another battle again with the next. Excellent. Back to the situation at hand. How will you deal with the ruffians stepping menacingly towards you? We can charge the pirates, we can stand firm and prepare to fight them, or try and escape by running back along the alleyway. We're going to stand firm and prepare to fight. Swinging their cudgels, the pirates engage you in combat. Alright, it's time to fight. If you defeat these scoundrels, we'll click this button. If you are killed in the street, we click this button. Here we go. Alright, so to activate, we'll hit this button here. We can see our first pirate has a stamina of 4 and a skill of 7. He's not very strong at all, though our skill is only 8, so it's going to be rough. We do have home, which is the main screen. We've got bookmarks. We can set bookmarks at various points because we might decide, okay, this might be a very, very important thing, and so set a bookmark so we can go back to it and retry. We have our adventure sheet, which is already up. We have our current map, and then we have options. So here we go. We're going to fight. So, as you can see, we rolled higher than the pirate, and we were able to hit him for 2 stamina points. And we're higher again. They need to slow down those dice. People should be able to take the time to read those dice. You have defeated the first pirate. Now you must face the second pirate. Alright, his skill is 6, so we've got a good chance against him. So we're 8 and he's 6, so we tied. Ooh, he's going to hit me. Alright, so we took our first wound. We could do luck to reduce it, but I'm not going to waste our luck. We have much more dangerous times coming later when we'll need our luck. There we go. One more hit on him and he'll go down. So you can see it shows the dice on either side. But I guess habit, I like to read the dice off the table. Ooh, not good. Really? Oh, okay. I had the dice mixed up. He was the one who rolled the 3. I was thinking we rolled the 3. So that should be him. We are triumphant. Excellent. Swing their cudgels, the pirates engage you in combat if you defeat these violent scoundrels. The half-ogre steps forward to fight you. Will you face your opponent? If so, turn to 187. Or we can try to run, but we're going to fight him. We got to help old Drake. Dropping his whip, the half-ogre moves in to attack you with his club. Ready to fight. This is going to hurt a lot. We're absolutely tied in skill. Thankfully, we've got a lot more stamina than he does. And he got us on the first swing. Ooh, again. And he got us on the second swing. Okay, this is not good. Alright, we got to swing on him that time. We've got to successfully hit him 2 more times. Alright. Either way, we've got this. He'd have to hit us 6 times in order to finish us off. We've only got to hit him once. Wham! There we go. We finished him. Alright. If you kill the half-ogre, turn to 328. The last of the pirates fall, and with some relief you sheathe your sword. It looks as if the pirates have beaten Dreg within an inch of his life, and he's failing fast. You do your best to make the old man comfortable, and he opens his eyes. "Thanks, stranger," he gasped. "I'm a goner now. They're up to something, you know." You ask him who he's talking about. "Cinnabar's crew. The pirates of the Black Skull." Looking at the hands of Dreg's assailants, you see that each bears the tattoo of a grinning black skull. "I've seen them meeting up again around the taverns in the city. Silas Gallows, Keel Halljack, Old Crivens, even Malu the witch doctor. They're planning something, all right. Rumor says Morel the Red found Cinnabar's body and that he's not rightly dead. But he's not rightly alive either, see? It's all that voodoo and black magic they meddle in. Nah, it isn't right. I've heard tell that they're planning something big. Tonight. You'd think old Snide and the guard would be looking into it, but truth be told, no one's been able to locate their hideout. He's coming back. We'll all be doomed. Stranger, beware the Black Skull. Bloodbones is coming back." And then he's gone. Laying the old man down, you ponder his last words and what your next action should be. So Cinnabar is not really dead. In that case, you may still have a chance for revenge. But what did Dreg mean when he said that Cinnabar is not really alive either? Dreg has given you several clues about your enemy and where you should start your search for him, and it seems that time is of the essence if you want to stop the pirates of the Black Skull. The old man mentions that the pirates of the Black Skull were gathering again in the Port of Crabs, so they may have a hidden base somewhere in the city. But of course, at present, you have no idea where it may be. Alright, guys. We're going to end it here for today. If you want more of this Choose Your Own Adventure Bloodbones play, remember, number one, that you can go to Steam and get this first one for free, Fighting Fantasy Classic. And secondly, comment in the comments down below, leave a like, and I will happily come back. Silly voices and all.